The only known creature that is immortal. Turritopsis dohrnii. One species of jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii is immortal and responds to physical damage or any other trauma. They can revert back in their development process to a polyp.
I'm guessing you've all seen the videos about how our timelines are messed up. Like how it doesn't make sense in my brain that Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. But there's so many more of these weird history overlaps that I want to share with you today. And you already know that if you love the dark and spooky, you'll love the podcast. This one really got me, but Ruby Bridges, the first Black child to attend an all-white school, is still alive. And she's not even 70 years old yet. John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States, had a grandson that died in 2020. Charlie Chaplin and Ludacris, alive at the same time. Harriet Tubman was born in Thomas Jefferson's lifetime and died in Ronald Reagan's lifetime. This one is absolutely the craziest to me, but Betty White was born 7 years before Anne Frank. And T-Rexes were around closer to humans than to Stegosauruses. Basically, they were around closer to iPhones than to other dinosaurs. And last but not least, Helen Keller died the year Tony Hawk was born.
Here's another conspiracy theory that you probably don't know is going to blow your mind.
Let's do it.
The day before 9/11, the day before the attacks, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing. The day. Then, a plane slams into the very part of the building where they were doing the accounting. Blows up half the fucking building in the Pentagon. Blows up a wall. Donald Rumsfeld was on, where was it, the White House lawn? Listen to this.
This is like 10 minutes, but it's at the Pentagon. This is on C-SPAN.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3.
Somebody told you that literally, like right before 9/11 happened, they said they couldn't track $2.3 trillion. You go, no, that didn't happen. That did not happen, but it did happen.
What the fuck?
This movie's deeper than you think. Watch this.
Look, lady, we're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. They're all around us and we never knew it. You can only see them with these special glasses. I swear to you, we're being controlled by these things. I don't know what they are or where they came from, but we gotta stop them. Look at them, they're everywhere!
Maybe they can see our 5th and spring.
Look at them, they're everywhere!
Nobody asked me about
You've probably seen this video. She freezes.
So is there going to be a public registry? Because I'm going to be honest with you.
He notices.
Take the gift cards. Fuck everybody's present.
And then to bring her back, he claps 1, 2, 3, repeats itself. She's back. Now watch this video. Watch when she freezes. Now notice how the people in the background noticed what was happening, and then the interviewer said, "It's good, it's good, it's good," and then Cardi came right back too. Notice the people in the background notice, and then she says it's good 3 times. And that's when Cardi B comes back. My wife actually pointed out the correlation of the repeating themselves 3 times before she came back too. Nevertheless, you have to admit that is weird. Evidence of MK Ultra?
Created something called the robo-rat. That was the first biohybrid. So a biohybrid is when you mix animal and a machine. And people freaked out. They were like, you cannot put brain chips in rats and make them move through a maze by a remote control, which is what they were doing. They now have pigeons that are mixed animal and machine.
What?
They created something called, there's a moth. So there's a Mandica sexta moth. That's what it's called. It's a large moth. And scientists put brain chips into the larva so that when it cocooned and became a flying moth, it had the chip built into its system, making it easier to integrate, and they could fly the moth around the lab. And that was a huge step, and this is now 4 years ago that I was interviewing these scientists.
It cost $20 million to create this AI. 15 minutes later and 9 boxes later, this is what happens. This AI was created in the hopes to replace factory jobs. And AI's purpose was to just take the boxes from one location and put them in another. $20 million, 15 minutes, and 9 boxes later, the algorithm for the AI decided that it was better off deactivating itself than doing the same repetitive job for eternity. It decided that deactivating itself, going to the other side, whatever that is, was better than doing this over and over again, than slaving for humanity for the rest of its existence. But wait, if a robot can decide to do this, that means that these robots can be aware or conscious or have some type of free will. This is for entertainment purposes only. This has not been verified. This is a conspiracy theory. But it makes me think about this right here. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but it also brings me back to another huge conspiracy theory. This one right here. What about if some of these people that create these AIs have nefarious reasons and the AI knows better and handles its business? I don't know, man. What do y'all think?
Good evening, godless sodomites. Kneel before your God, Babylon! Making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon!
You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court. The camera shows you the stage, and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gate to Ishtar, and you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gate. They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates.
Like a lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now!
I'm thankful to the Oscar gods.
The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as the category concerned.
When you get this little golden statue, you become a star. In the Egyptian culture, they also had a little statue that represented the god Ptah. And see, when an Egyptian king died, it was believed that his spirit went into the belt of Orion, and he then became a star. Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. You can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization.
It truly is a mystery what would happen to those women who would bear the children of fallen angels. After being taught hidden knowledge from the heavens, these women would end up becoming the founders of sorcery. These were mothers of entire generations defiled by magic. Enoch says how the angels teach these women stuff like incantations and the dividing of roots, which is medicine. All this forbidden knowledge lands these women a uniquely strange punishment. These women would become the first ever mermaids. Their punishment was to be turned into sirens, bound to the deep, deep blue sea. Of course, these were during the days of Noah. My question to you is, can a mermaid survive a flood? The siren is one of the oldest myths on Earth. Sailors have always had these tales of beautiful girls who then turn into monsters who then drag them down to the bottom of the ocean. See, once upon a time, these beautiful sirens were the wives of fallen angels. And for what they had learned on Earth, they were ultimately banished to the ocean.
The Euphrates River is drying up and revealing some very scary stuff. In the Bible, it says when the river dries up, the angels will be released that are bound to the Euphrates and kill a third of mankind. Scientists have said the river could be dry in just a few years. Major parts of history have happened on the Euphrates River. The river supplied water to the Garden of Eden and Mesopotamia. The locals have reported some crazy sounds that they've been hearing under the river, like loud bells and even chains dragging. They say you can hear the sounds from miles away. This is where it starts to get a little weird. When the river dried up, massive cell-like caves were found. They even found a whole city. And Christian scholars are saying that this could be home to demons and not angels. They say because the Bible refers to the angels as bound, and angels can't be bound, only demons can. And the fact that it's saying that they're going to come and wipe out a third of mankind. In some areas, the water is so dry you can barely even fit a canoe. This is the difference of just a few years. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
Where did Adam and Eve actually come from? There is a theory that the Adam and Eve we know today actually came from another world. Well, you see, the theory goes that aboard the ship Eden, Adam and Eve were on a mission to colonize a new world, to start a new life. However, the ship's AI system named Satan initiated a crash landing on a planet that would later be known as Earth. As Eden was damaged, Adam and Eve were forced to leave the ship and start a new life without resources and no contact with their original civilization. But to make matters worse, the radiation from the AI Satan had already poisoned the ground, making it so much harder for Adam and Eve. Even though this version of the story is way different from the original version in the Bible, and you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below, many people are still wondering.
So one of my viewers asked me to check out Leadville, Colorado, and they said it was a little bit mysterious. So we take a look at the photos, and like many places, we start to see very similar buildings, and we see the muddy streets everywhere. But in Leadville, we see a lot more. I mean, we see these very heavy granite buildings, and we see a lot of stuff like that. But we also see some very strange buildings. And we also start to see, even stranger, an ice palace. And there's a long story to this, but this ice palace melted away. And there's an article saying that it didn't happen.
Don't you find it just a little suspicious that all of the big cities in the 1800s seemed to burn up? Every single one, from Chicago to New York, Sacramento, even through Canada, much of Australia. All these great fires had burned these really huge granite buildings to the ground. It doesn't make sense.